everyone and happy Monday. We have a planner page for you today as always on a Monday. Now this planner page I've actually done before last year because it was in last year's planner as well, which is really strange because normally Johanna doesn't do that, and we have a page every year that we've not had in a planner before. So I don't know whether there was some sort of oversight on this one, but anyway, I did it last year in pinks. I'm going to do a slightly similar technique but completely different colours this year. In that I'm not going to colour each of these individual little flowers on our seahorses. It's going to take forever. I'm going to do each seahorse as a block and make it a lot easier. So I'll show you that. But if you want to do a pink, reddish pinkish seahorse, then you can have a look at last year's seahorse and follow that one. But you know, I'm going to try and do it a little bit different this time. So I'll give you something. I thought I would purposely go and have a look to make sure I checked that I wasn't going to be doing it identically. Right, so I have got my Castle Arts gold pencils. I'm not sure if I used those last time. I have a weird feeling that I did. But anyway, we're going to start. I'm just looking for the right colour because I picked a colour and I'm not sure. Yes, it's going to work. So I'm going to start with a Terre Verde deep, and I'm just trying to find it. There it is. So Terre Verde deep. I don't know if that's how you say it. And I'm going to use it around the edge of the seahorse. I'm just trying to decide where to start. Let's start at the tail and work our way round. Now obviously at the bottom I've used it across the whole of that little section, but as we come round I want some space for other colours. This flower overlaps, so be a little bit careful. Yeah, it was odd, but this is from Lost Ocean, just in case for those of you who don't have the planner and want to colour along in a different book. But it's probably obvious, I don't know, being as it's of the sea. But there are sometimes watery themes in the other books, aren't there, to be fair. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought while I was colouring I would nut to you about my walk today. I had two walks today, both along the canal, which was rather nice. I met a friend first thing and we went for a walk along the canal. And then later on I came back and I was going to record, and my camera was flat, so I went for a walk along the canal in the opposite direction and went to town. So one way leads to town, one way doesn't, so that was fun. I love its big round belly, so cute. So on my way this morning, what did I see? We saw moorhen. I thought it was a baby for a minute, and it wasn't. It was just a normal moorhen. We saw I'm just trying to decide whether to go around there, but I don't think I will. We saw a mother mallard with 5 ducklings, we counted, which was rather sweet. Eyes. I'm just going to do the eyes in black before I carry on with anything else. I know it's might be a bit annoying, but the ivory black, I just need to sharpen it. So yes, the mother duck with 5 ducklings, which was very sweet. So we've got a little circle with a bit around it. I'm going to do the circle in black. I'm going to try and go dark around the outside and a bit less in the middle. Oops. There we go. I'm not sure about the outside bit yet. We'll wait. Right, so that's that. We're going back to the Terre Verde deep. Back to the story. So yes, the 5 little ducklings. I saw a few male mallards as well. The moorhen we saw, I don't know if there's an easy difference to tell between male and female. And we saw a bird in a tree, and we were trying to identify it, which we were completely useless at. It was very yellow, all over, you know, not quite like a canary, but we were wondering if it was some sort of finch. It was quite small, but we weren't sure, and it was so high in the tree, we were struggling. My friend is waiting for some new glasses, although one of her eyes is fine, the other one isn't so good, so, and I couldn't really see that well either. I don't know why, I didn't have an excuse. I'm going to bring this colour in a little bit in the areas where there's a lot, the sort of larger areas, if that makes sense. So here and in here. Yeah, so that was rather nice. And there had been an oil spill in the canal though. It's a funny-ish story, not funny for the wildlife, but alongside the canal runs a railway line, and there's work being done on the railway line, and the equipment has to come from the other side of the canal. So they were taking equipment across the canal on a little sort of fixed raft that had been put on there to drive across. Unfortunately, there had been an accident, and a little digger had, not off the raft but off the canal path, had fallen into the water. Well, it's half in the water, half out. You can tell it's come off the canal path. And I saw it in the local paper. Unfortunately, the driver managed to jump out, but unfortunately it's been there for a week and there's oil leaking out of it into the water, which isn't ideal. And so there was some, I can't think of the word, my husband told me the name, things in the water to stop the oil spreading around and things like that. So someone's trying to clean it all up. And some stuff floating on the water which was soaking the oil up, but wasn't good. I can hear a bee or a wasp. Anyway, it was really hot today, and well, actually that walk we were quite cool. It was a cold breeze blowing and it was quite cool along the canal. I had my hands thrust into my jacket pockets and I was shivering at one point. But once we got walking, we soon warmed up, and that was our walk. We actually cut it a little bit short because there was a nervous dog. My friend had a dog with her, and we decided we'd just go back rather than upset the nervous dog. So my other walk, I saw wildlife too, different wildlife. I saw lots of pigeons. They were obviously in bed when I went out for my earlier walk. Loads of them, but no, we see them a lot, don't we? Of course, everywhere. But and magpies. There was a lot of magpies along the other way. But what I did see something more exciting. I saw a heron. Now I walked past the heron, and it looked like a stainless steel cutout of a heron. It was so still. And as they do when they're waiting to pounce. And I was looking at it, and I stopped. A bicycle came past, so I stopped to let the bicycle come past, and I said to him, "Oh, there's a heron," to the rider, because you do around our way, you point things out to people because no one likes, you go along the canal path, you want to see pretty things. Right, my next colour is going to be phthalo turquoise. Okay, now if you're using other pencils, the Terre Verde Deep, it's a sort of greeny blue, as you can see. If I do this colour combination with polychromos, I use a helio blue reddish or a turquoise, a dark turquoise, I can't remember the name. Or if I'm using my Derwents, I use the sapphire blue in the Derwent Light Fast. I'm just looking at the colour I'm trying to say. Bluish turquoise or helio blue reddish, those two are quite similar. But for the phthalo turquoise, I would tend to use a I'd probably, with my polychromos, go straight for the light phthalo green, but maybe a bit of emerald. So anyway, I said to this guy on the bike, here's the heron. And he went, oh yeah. He said, oh, I sometimes see that one. He says, sometimes I see the old scraggy one. And I said, oh yeah, I've seen him too. And he's got, in his neck, he's got lots of really scraggy looking feathers. It's quite funny. Now I am joining it here, but as I come up I'm going to leave a gap because we can go in with the mint green light for the centre part. Anyway, so that was fun. And he said to me, he told me a story, so I shall tell you the story. He said one day he was cycling along the canal path and he spotted the otter. We sometimes get an otter. I haven't seen it for ages. I've only seen it twice anyway, 3 times. But anyway, he said he didn't have a camera with him, of course, as you never do when you see the very best of things. So he saw the otter and so he stopped to watch it because he said there was no one around. It's really interesting. And the otter caught a fish. He said he was making a lot of splashing and stuff in the water, and he caught a fish and got out of the water to eat it. And the heron had been sitting there watching him from the bank, and so the heron suddenly moves and catches fish for himself when he's eating it. And then he says what he hadn't noticed was there was a kingfisher in the tree above, and the kingfisher dived down and caught a fish, and so all 3 of them were sort of eating their breakfast. Can you imagine? Amazing. So I didn't see anything as exciting as that, but that was fab. And he sort of was like, you know, people think he's making up the story, but I mean, why would you? So that was a bit of fun. So that was a lovely walk, and it got really hot by that time because I went for a walk with my friend, and as I say, it was quite cold. And I came home. I was going to record this video. However, it was my battery was flat on my camera, so I couldn't. So I went back out instead to into town. I needed to. Well, I actually wanted to go to the sweet shop. I don't eat sweets, but I wanted to buy some chocolate. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil and then do the other one. I'm so confused by my camera. It's at an odd angle, but hopefully for you it looks okay. It seems to be lining up in the viewfinder okay, but the screen is at a strange angle. I don't know what's going on with it. My son was using this room and he complained that the tripod was in his way, so I moved it out of the office and all the legs got hit and it went all squiffy. So I'm just hoping that it's looking right. I had to reset it with my son. My other son's got a mini spirit level. It's very cute. Oops, sorry. It's very cute. Look. I use it for getting the camera straight. But anyway. I still managed to take all my pictures at a squiffy angle. I don't know how. I think I need a photography lesson. Or a filming lesson or something. Or get someone to do that bit for me. I don't know. I should learn, shouldn't I? I actually need to learn how to use my computer camera better. I was thinking about this when I was walking, when I was on my own, not when I was with my friend, that I really ought to read the manual because I'm sure I don't use it to its best ability, because I have it set so that you can take a photograph while you're recording. So if I'm mid-spiel here, so I wanted a photo now, I could just take one and you wouldn't notice. But it means that whenever I want to take a photograph, I have to record, so I have to press the record button. And I don't know how to take it out of that mode, but I don't want to fiddle around with it because then I might not find the right mode for doing the recording that I'm doing now. So a bit frightened. Now there is, in this set there is a mint green and a mint green light, and if you look at the ends, I know this one's really blunt, you can see this is the mint green light and this is the mint green. The mint green light is much darker. It's very strange. I find it odd, but I'm going to use the mint green light to finish this off. I haven't actually, I'm just going back to the phthalo turquoise because there's not much symmetry here between the two. I want them to look reasonably similar. There we go. I'm going to use this mint green light over the whole thing. I'm going to start with this little one. I'm just going to go around the eyes. I'm going over all of it because I can see quite a lot of white paper through, and I think it would be nice to cover that over. Now, I had someone once ask me, fairly recently, if I could share my favourite sort of colour combinations. Now, this is one of my favourite colour combinations, and it isn't mine. I've pinched it off somebody else. So I can't really make any claim for it. I think it was Colour with Claire. But I don't really have colour combinations that I use like this. I just normally just make it up as I go along. So I couldn't really share any. I think the person was a bit disappointed, but sadly it's just, I know some people do it. I think Miss Martley has some nice ones. I'm not sure if she has them. I think she has them on a printout in her Ko-fi shop, I think. I did have a look at her shop because I was looking at other colourists' Ko-fi shops, because having put mine up, I was like, what do other people put in their shops? And it's quite interesting. Oops, out of the line she goes. But I haven't put anything in mine lately, anything new I might do sometime. But I've got to keep up with my videos at the moment. I've got a little bit behind. I had my son home yesterday. We've had bank holidays as well, which has sort of interrupted me, because normally I record on a Monday, and we had bank holiday Monday, so I didn't. So that sort of disrupted me really. There he is. And now I think some people might finish this off with yellow in the middle, that sort of yellow glow, but I haven't, because I've taken this colour right across the whole thing. So yes, this is very much like the polychromos phthalo green. If I was doing this in, with the Derwents, I think there's a, is it an aqua, light aqua? It's in the light fast set. Hang on, I've got it here. Oh, it's not very useful format. They haven't got them all on one page. Not sure. There's a turquoise green. It might be that. I'm not sure. But anyway, there's a similar colour to this, and with the sapphire I use. But I don't tend to use 3 colours from that, just the 2. So normally I usually use a blue on the very edge, but this time I've used a green, a bluey green, but a green instead, just to try something a bit different. So that's been fun. So what day is it today? I'm just trying to think. It's the, it was the coronation, would have been the coronation on Saturday, our king's getting crowned. I know there have been quite a lot of mixed feelings about it. I quite enjoy the idea of watching it, which I will be, because obviously I'm filming this in advance, it hasn't happened yet. Well, I hope so, that I will get the chance to watch it. I want to, it's be on the TV, just to see what's going on, who's there, what they're wearing. I like looking at people's clothes. I know it sounds a bit weird, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Right, so there are seahorses, and we've got flowers and leaves obviously as well. I'm just having a look at my selection of colours. I think the Prussian green or the permanent green will probably be, or do I want to go dark? Dark phthalo green, no, because it's too bluey. The darker greens are very blue, apart from the hooker's green, which I don't think is going to work. So Prussian green or permanent green. Just going to find them and see which is the longest. The Prussian green is the longest, so I use that. Is that a good way to choose a colour? Probably not. So I've sharpened it, Prussian green. There you go. And we'll do the sort of stems and slimmer parts first before it gets too blunt. Now you could use a selection of colours for the greenery, obviously. There's sort of a lot going on here. If I was to use a selection of colours, I would use this. I would do the darkest on my stems and then make them lighter towards the end. So yeah, darker on all the stems, and then do the darker part here, like here, and then start to fade it like that. So fade it right out like that, and then add the second colour, start it here, and then if you want a third colour, you can sort of fade it to here, and then start here with your third colour. Or sometimes it's nice to go over all of it with the third colour, like I did with the seahorses, because then you get, it sort of blends it all up and fills in any gaps, that sort of thing. So it's you know, it can be just a nice sort of final glaze layer almost, or burnishing, I suppose you could call it. Now here they overlap, so if you're using several colours you might want quite a deep bit in here. I've decided to keep it plain. I'm not going to colour all of this greenery on camera because there's a lot of it, and I'm going to do it all the same. So I'm just going to do a little bit like that so you get the idea. It's really going to be quite simple. And you have to decide whether you think this colour really works together. It's difficult to choose. I'm just going to go over that a bit more. It looks a bit messy. I wasn't sure. So here's my colour card. So I didn't really want these browny colours and all the olivey colours. We'd already used this terre verde here, might have worked because it's quite grey, but I didn't think that the phthalo green is too close to the terre verde deep, which is what we used for the seahorses. So I didn't want that. I thought it was too close, and I also thought that the phthalo turquoise was a bit, we'd already used, haven't we? So I couldn't use that. So anyway, that's why I decided on this Prussian green. But the chrome green could have worked. The terre verde, those two might have worked as well. But I'm quite liking this sort of warmth in this colour. So that's that one. Now we have got a few other elements. We've got the flowers. I think because I'm just doing the leaves quite plain, I'm going to leave it there and finish them, excuse the pun, and do the flowers so you can see what I'm choosing for those. I'm just looking for my brush because it's quite bitty. These pencils are a little bit crumbly. It's because of their designed to be like that, a little bit more soft, I suppose. Now the colour for the flowers, I'm thinking we could go, I really want something that doesn't bleed into white so I can do some white details. This one, this one, this one and this one and this one, all of those, white pen goes pink. I've tried it out on there and it's gone pink, and on that one. So that only leaves us those two, because it also does on that one and that one, and these two are a bit too orangey. So we could do them in the lavender and the mauve, and then do some white dots, which I think I'd rather like to do. So that's how I've chosen my colour. It's not particularly scientific, shall we say. But these are quite pale. But if you want them darker, you can always darken them with some black, rather than using something that will bleed, the white will bleed into the white. So I've picked the lavender first, which is the darker colour, I hope. Yes. And I'm going to do the centres, and I'm going to do them quite dark, and no sort of shading or anything, just a dark, because I want to put some white pen on top of these at the end, as I said. And this one. Now if you wish, you could also use this for the edges of the petals, because they're sort of outlined on these and this one, but not those. but I think I'm not. I think I'm going to go straight to the mauve. Actually, that's the mauve deep. It's the mauve deep I want. I've grabbed the wrong pencil. So I want mauve deep. Oh, let's try and turn it so you can actually see the name. There we go. This one's been sharpened in my dowel. I hope it's not going to break on me. There we go. So for the petals, I think I want to go quite layered up near the centre and then less towards the edge, like that. Now, if you want it to look more three-dimensional, you're going to have to put a lot more darker colour in near where they overlap to look like shadow. But I think it's going to look prettier without black in it. You could use dark blue if you don't want black, but even then, I still think it's going to look prettier if it is a bit paler. So I'm going to keep it like that. Doing this quite quickly. I am trying to fade it a little bit towards the tip of the petal. And then we'll do what we'll do is we'll do one of each. So this one and this one are the same. They've sort of got a bit of symmetry, haven't we, in here? Just checking the time. Sun's moved round, it's no longer on the desk, which is good because I thought it would be. Had I been recording this morning, it would have been. And here I think we'll do the same. We'll make it darker here and lighter towards the tip, like that. Oh, these overlap. We'll just do this one on this side. Now I've been thinking a little bit about a background. I'm not sure I'm going to do one because I think if I try and do a blue, it's going to be too similar to the seahorse. Maybe my colour choice wasn't such a good idea. Those are identical to those, so I'm not going to do it. This one is almost identical to this. But I shall do it anyway because I'm in the mood. And then we've got the little jewel, diamond, whatever it might be. I'm thinking tying it in with the flower colour might work, but it might be fun to just do it a slightly different colour. I'm wondering about a blue. It's this here I'm talking about. We've got the ultramarine I could use. Yeah, let's do that. Where is it? Here it is. Let's give it a sharpen. I'm not very keen, to be quite honest with you, on the colour of ultramarine. Here it is. But we're going to use it here. I'm thinking dark edge and then lighter as we go round. And then maybe like that across the middle. Let me sweep that. You can't see, we're so far away. Let me hold it up for you. So I've done some lines across it to look like shine. Okay, I think that's the only one. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the pencil work and then I'm going to come back and show you the white pen because I think it might be handy for you to sort of see the white pen work in action, as it were. So I shall be back. Right, so here we are with our coloured page. I haven't actually swept it off, which I think I should just do. There we go. And now I'm going to grab my white pen. I think, oh, the Posca doesn't work, does it? We discovered this in the previous video. So I'm going to use a Sakura gel pen. This is a number 10. It's quite a thick nib, which I want. And I'm just going to start putting a few white dots on those flowers. I think it just lifts the flowers. It helps them to stand out, makes them look prettier. I'm going to do some at the middle of these, and on this one, trying not to put my hand in the pen that I've already done. Now I'm not going to put any white on our jewel because I've sort of drawn it in. I'm going to put a little dot, the eye of our seahorse. There we go. Now you could, if you were feeling, if you had lots of time or were feeling up for it, put white all over the top of the patterning on here, or all around the edges of the flowers. I think around the petals the outside bit might just get lost in the background, so maybe just the inside bit, but I'm not sure. I'm quite happy with what I've done without all that, doing much extra. Yeah, as I say, you could highlight over the patterning, but I think because this is quite a light colour in the middle, it might just disappear rather than make it stand out. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. So I think I'm quite happy. So there is our Monday planner page. So I hope that's okay. It was just it was quite quick. The leaves are coloured very quickly, but hopefully that's fine. You know, having done it before, I was a little bit like, what am I going to do? But I hope that that's okay. If you want, now sometimes when I do things like this, I would be tempted to do this bit on the top of the head and this bit here in a bit of a different colour to make them stand out. Now, one way you can make them stand out now is to use that white pen just on this and not on the rest, but I'm actually really like the colour, so I'm not going to do that. Or you could make this much darker than these two bits, much darker, or just plain rather than pattern. But again, I just like it as it is, but it's, you know, if you wanted to make it just a little bit different. But there we go. I will leave in the description a link to my other tutorial in the other planner, so you can go and have a look at that one. So if you don't like this one, or if you want to decide which you like the best, or if you just want another idea and then you go off and do your own thing, whatever you might do, but I'll leave it there for you in case you want to look at it. But that's it really. Thank you for watching. Have a really lovely day and happy colouring.